What is going on, guys? The Inside the Blue podcast, and today breaking down the New York Yankees' unfortunate series loss to the Washington Nationals, a team that is worse than the New York Yankees. Another time the Yankees play down to their competition and they don't win the series, a series that they should easily win. And you mark it on your calendar and a time that the Yankees could use a few extra wins. This was one of them, and the Yankees only get one win in 3 games. They dropped 2 out of 3. And I look at this series as a complete failure. And I said it for so many months, so many times, that the August month is a time to really take advantage of this division because the Orioles have not been playing their best baseball. And the Yankees, if they want to win this division, taking advantage of the Baltimore Orioles struggles is huge. But yeah, it's a tough look for the Yankees, but a lot of baseball is still being played. A lot of stuff still needs to happen in order for the Yankees to win the division and lock up the division for a lot of reasons, right? The division does have some positive things. You could still win the World Series as a wild card team, but you'd like maybe a little bit of extra rest for some players like Giancarlo Stanton, like some guys who have some prior injury history. So it would be good for the Yankees, but I think this is an AL that is wide open. Uh, and something too to add on: Yankees are against sub 500 baseball teams are 24-20. That is 22nd in the MLB, and they're first in against 500 teams or better with a record of 54-36. So that just tells you that the Yankees love to play down to their competition, and then when they play a team like the Guardians or the Orioles or the Dodgers or any type of team, they usually play to their type of competition and play well. But um, yeah, with the Yankees, they just let a lot of poor teams hang around, and that's just not a good standard for the Yankees. They should have went into the Washington Nationals park and honestly took over, right? Some players had a good series, some didn't. Juan Soto was quiet. Aaron Judge still becomes Aaron Judge, making a diving, not a diving play, but a jumping grab at the wall. Jazz Chisholm with a few home runs in the series. He's been really good as a Yankee. Really solid pickup from Cashman. I was always a critic of kind of Jazz's play. I thought he was a little bit overrated, but he's kind of proven us and Yankee fans wrong. Um, and I think the other thing too is I know the Yankees are always surrounded by World Series contender. They're described as that. It's like World Series or bust. All this type of allegations, all of this type of stuff. Um, it is tough to classify yourself as that when you haven't gone to the World Series since 2009. But I guess to start off with talking about some players, Nestor Cortez has looked much better as of late, and I was a heavy critic of him. I won't lie. Nestor Cortez, in my opinion, was a main trade piece on my board. I thought we were going to get Jack Flaherty. They looked like they had a deal done, but due to medical stuff and all that, they didn't want to take another risk after taking a risk with Frankie Montas a few deadlines ago. They didn't want to do it with Jack Flaherty. Jack Flaherty isn't pitching bad with the Dodgers. He's got a 3.49 ERA in his last 4 appearances. So, um, in his last five, he's 3-1. And the thing why I wanted Nestor kind of gone is just that July month really sold me of this guy being a potential trade piece. And I like Nestor. I like his personality. I like all the type of stuff, his flashiness on the mound. But he's really starting to, prove me wrong and honestly prove a lot of Yankee fans wrong. Because he had a poor July. He's been better in August as of late. He's got a 2.93 in his last 5 appearances with 26 strikeouts, and he's eating innings too, and that's why the Yankees held on to him because he's able to eat innings. And in the long run, when it comes down to playoff time, you don't know what type of role. I don't know what type of role Nestor Cortez is going to have. Is it going to be a bullpen role where this guy is going to come in and eat 2 to 3 innings to preserve the rest of the pen, or is he going to be a starter? Because you'd be looking at a 6-man rotation. Um, as we look at at this, it would be Cole, Heel, Rodon, Schmidt, Nestor, Stroman. That's my ideal six-man rotation in that order. I still think Rodon is going to be pitching in the starting rotation come playoff time. I still think Luis Heel, despite his innings, his career high in innings, I wouldn't mind a six-man rotation, but I think Schmidt / Nestor should definitely be in the pen. And another thing with Clark Schmidt is he was having a good year before he was injured, right? He had a 2.52 ERA. He was one of the best pitchers when Garrett Cole was out. And I liked Schmidt's stuff. He's been looking good in rehab, which is good. And I know Yankee fans are gonna say it's just AA, AAA. You need him to be good there because if he's struggling there, then that means it's only more time that he needs to recover. And I think he's pretty much ready. I don't know when Clark Schmidt's actually gonna pitch again. He might be back sooner than later. Anthony Rizzo has done a rehab assignment. And also Cody Pitzett. So some guys are coming back. Ian Hamilton, in not now, but maybe come playoff time. The thing is, getting into Carlos Rodon, a guy that I have said stuff that he's been good, he's been bad, he's been all over the place, and that is true. And his resume could get better if he does pitch good in this postseason because the Yankees are going to make the playoffs. That's not something to think about. The Yankees are clearly going to make the playoffs. It's just if they're going to win the division or not. And I do believe they have a very strong chance at winning the division. And they're in a good spot with how bad they played going into the All-Star break and all that. And they've been a good team post All-Star break. I think they have the sixth best record coming out of the break. So that's good stuff. Obviously, dropping a series to the Nationals doesn't help. But regardless, they've played a good series. And getting into our next player, DJ Lemahieu, a guy that I think every Yankee fan that I've talked to wants him gone and doesn't want him on the playoff roster. And it's hard to disagree because DJ LeMahieu was a guy that was just hitting. He was a great player, a great move by Brian Cashman. But now it's kind of backfired with age and his toe injury, all these type of injuries that have not helped DJ LeMahieu's case. He's batting .255 in his last 15 games with 5 ribbies. And I think another question, too, is what is the role with Oswaldo Cabrera now that DJ LeMahieu is deciding to get the majority and the bulk of reps? It's definitely a question to ask Aaron Boone because Cabrera has been better, and I think he's more trustworthy. LeMahieu's making errors and just plays that he doesn't usually make. I think he's going to get released. I really do, and I don't think any team's going to try and pick up on him, but it sucks how this is the way DJ LeMahieu's pinstripes are going to end, but it has to be done. Like, sometimes it's just a business move, like, hey, we thank you for what you did prior, but now we got to tell you that you got to get out of here. And another thing with Carlos Rodon is this is a guy that has really good stuff. I think we can all agree with that. He just doesn't use it properly. Whether it's hanging a slider, the long ball getting to him, we don't know. But I think there definitely is some issues with him pitching in Yankee Stadium because Yankee Stadium is a home run ballpark. When you go to Yankee Stadium, you're expected to see a decent amount of home runs between the two teams playing. And another thing is, what did Oswaldo Cabrera do to Aaron Boone? Like, what did he actually do? Did he do something in the clubhouse? Like, what did he do? Did he miss a team meeting? Like, what is it? What is the deal with Oswaldo Cabrera not playing at the third base role? Or, I didn't mind Peraza when he was up, but then he gets called back down because Jazz Chisholm is back. But I feel like I know Jazz is going to be that third baseman, but I just don't see a world where Oswaldo Cabrera shouldn't be playing over DJ LeMahieu at first base. And if it's not going to be Oswaldo, then what is with Ben Rice? Sure, the guy hasn't had a great start. He was red hot right out of the gate, had a 3-run 3 home run game. But I look at Ben Rice and I don't see him being on the playoff roster with how they've been playing DJ LeMahieu. Like, are they going to release this guy? Are they going to DFA him? Are they going to put him on the roster? Because I think if they put DJ LeMahieu on the playoff roster, you're just asking for double plays, bad plays all around. Getting into some other stuff, Austin Wells, man. We haven't talked about Austin Wells nearly enough on this podcast, and this guy has been destroying the baseball in his last 15 games. 286 batting average, 14 hits, 9 RBIs. He is in a potential case to win the Rookie of the Year. It's going to be tough with other players ahead of him, but I still think this is a good sign for the Yankees. The Yankees need a catcher that they can rely on and play the everyday role. That's not Trevino. That's Austin Wells, baby. This guy has been raking, and I mean, this guy's putting the ball over the wall. He's doing the right things behind the plate. He's throwing guys out now. He's doing a really good job. He's just 25. I mean, this guy could be the potential franchise catcher, and I don't want to, overly ride Wells, but the guy has done a really good job, and we needed that because when it comes to the future, they needed a future catcher that's going to play well. Another thing is Clark Schmidt's rehab in Scranton. 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, or 1 run, 1 walk, and 5 Ks. That's good stuff. We need that going into the Yankees, and I think he definitely can. Boone said that he looks like he'll get one more start in AAA. So that would be okay, in my opinion. I don't mind him getting an extra start, seeing how he does, and seeing how he does in his 3 starts. But if there's a guy that needs to be on this team right now, it's Jason Dominguez. Why are we waiting this long? A rival scout said that he recently saw Jason Dominguez during his coverage in Scranton, and he said this. He's ready to go back. He saw flashes of everything you want to see. He ran well. He hit the ball out of the park. Did not defend as well as I've seen in the past, but he is ready. Why are we not getting this guy up? Why not test out the rookies like we did last year? You saw what they could do. You saw what Austin Wells could do. You saw what Jason Dominguez did. The guy hit a home run off a future Hall of Famer in his first at bat. That doesn't always happen. And that's what I liked about Jason Dominguez is that switch hitting role, and the guy can hit from both sides. One side is better than the other, but it's just the versatility. When you have a switch hitter in the lineup, it's cool. I love switch hitters. But Dominguez isn't going to be realistically called up until September, so that's unfortunate, but I'm excited to see what this guy's got. Because we saw what he did when he was up here. Not the game against Tarek Skubal. Don't give me that, because I don't know what you're expecting from a rookie, a young player, to go against the Cy Young. You're expecting an 0 for 4, not much contact, and that's what happened. And another thing, too, is, this means Alex Verdugo's not in the lineup. They are playing Alex Verdugo to the ground. And this is my ideal playoff lineup. Here it is right now. So we got Torres leading off, Soto batting second, Judge batting third. You got Stanton in the DH spot. You got Austin Wells. You got Rizzo/Rice. Don't think LeMahieu is getting any minutes or any time. You got Jazz Chisholm in the 7, Dominguez in the 8, and Volpe in the 9. I think you can make a realistic argument to maybe throw in Rizzo lower in the lineup and Dominguez in the 6 hole. I think you definitely could do that. Torres has been really good leading off in his past few games. I would have loved to see Juan Soto play in the leadoff role, but with Gleyber Torres and how he's swinging the bat, it's a good sign because we need Gleyber to return to that Gleyber Torres that is just really good at hitting. He's playing average to good fielding. But yeah, and with Volpe in the 9 hole, just think about it. When you're starting the inning and you got Volpe in the 9, he gets on, and Torres gets on. You got 2 runners on that are going to have to pitch to Soto and Judge, because there's no way they're walking Soto and letting the bases loaded with Judge. That would be a silly move. Now, the White Sox actually did do that. They did walk Juan Soto. And I know, because the guy hit 3 home runs in this. You're taking on Aaron Judge. It's not like you're taking on some random noob. This is Aaron Judge. And what does Aaron Judge do? He makes Grady Sizemore and the entire White Sox organization look like absolute fools as he launched one over the wall. I don't know what Rizzo's going to do when he comes back. I really don't. I don't know if they're going to play Ben Rice. I don't know if they're going to call him down or send him down. I don't really know. But it's up to us to hope that Ben Rice plays because I do like Ben Rice. I think he's a good player early on in his career. But I still think it's a really good lineup that the Yankees have. I think the Yankees have all the tools that they have to win a World Series. They have a bullpen that's getting loaded back up. Clay Holmes is probably going to be the closer. I don't know how to feel about that. I said on a podcast that I like Tommy Kahnle or Jake Cousins being the closer. And I don't know when Boone is going to try to experiment someone else being the closer because Clay Holmes has blown more saves than any other closer. And I guess to kind of wrap this thing up is that the AL is actually so wide open. There's not a lot of teams that I'm like, oh crap, we're playing them. Besides, honestly, Baltimore and the Red Sox. Honestly, those two teams are my biggest fear because they don't line up against anyone well in the AL East, except and the thing is with the Yankees is you already know they play down to their competition. They play down to the AL East. They're a way better team than the AL East record shows against their opponents, like the Rays, like the Blue Jays, like the Boston Red Sox, like the Baltimore Orioles. I think another team to watch out for is that Cleveland Guardians team with Emmanuel Classic, because that guy is gross. And yeah, I mean, I am quite excited to see what this team can do in the playoffs. Because this team in the playoffs can do some damage. We can admit that. With the Jason Dominguez, with the Juan Soto, with an Aaron Judge, all those type of guys can do real damage to the baseball. Now, I know Judge was a 211 career postseason hitter, and I know he wasn't outstanding in 2022, but this is a guy that I think has more confidence than ever, and I think he feels it's the team with Juan Soto. 2022, the team was way too relied on Aaron Judge. Now Juan Soto comes in, a little bit of the weight gets off of the shoulders of Aaron Judge, but it still, accounts for the other 7 guys, not including Soto or Judge. So I think with the Yankees, what they just need to do is just take care of business against some of these teams. Like if you're playing in the wild card round and you're taking on a team that's not very good, you got to take care of them like that. You cannot let it go extra game or any of that. You got to do your job. And the Yankees have done that for the most part. Orioles have not. But the Yankees have also played not good enough to have a sizable lead. So it's like, who wants the division? Is it the Baltimore Orioles? Is it the Yankees? I don't know. But it should be a really, really good rest of the stretch. And I do indeed hope that the Yankees do win the division. I do. Because the Yankees have all that it takes to win the division. And, another thing too is there is another series against Baltimore in September. The Yankees, I believe, need to sweep in order to win the season series against them. I think they would win 7-6. Comments below definitely let me know on that stat. It's probably wrong. The series, because I don't think if Baltimore wins just one game, I think at the stadium, I think it's at Yankee Stadium, then they win the season series and the head to head. Regardless, 2 really good teams. Baltimore's still a stud team. We all know that. We all know that Gunnar Henderson and the Adley Rutschman, and they're getting guys back eventually. The Yankees are getting guys back. I mean, if that's a playoff series, look out because that is going to be a tough series to win, and it's going to be a tough series for both sides because starting rotation can be a huge spot in that. And it should be a fun series if we do end up matching up against them, against the Guardians. Because, I mean, the Houston Astros are still that team. Like, if they're there, like, they could still make noise. And I hate saying that because the Mariners have completely choked away a division that was in their hands. And the Texas Rangers are still on a hangover from the World Series. So AL is really interesting as a whole. And with like the AL, like I don't think it's as good as the NL. I mean, I think the biggest questions I have is, do we have enough trust in Clay Holmes to close out a series, close out a game in the bottom of the ninth? Uh, does Judge show up enough in the postseason? As good as that guy is in the regular season, we need it to translate over because it does. I know the other 8 guys, including Soto, do need to play good, but I think if you have a historical season like that in the regular season, we hope to have a good postseason. The guy's a really good hitter. The guy's a stud talent. The guy's an athlete. So I think he can definitely have a good team, good vibes all around. Another question I have is, how will Soto fare out in his first season as the Yankee? He's hit a career high in home runs. Guy's a stud. He walks a lot. He walks better than anyone in the league. And I think my final question is, how will Anthony Volpe fare out? Is he going to go through those roller coaster hot and cold stretches, or is this guy going to be playing out good or playing out bad? And the role with Verdugo is probably just a bench bat and maybe a defensive replacement, which I highly doubt. So this guy probably doesn't get any minutes. Trent Grisham is definitely not getting any minutes because that guy can't hit for nothing. And with the bullpen, like Schmidt coming back, Efros, Hamilton, how does the bullpen look? A lot of questions regardless. This was definitely a great episode. We're back, baby. Back at college as well. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this podcast. Of course, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and like all these videos. Tune into some live streams going forward, whether it's the playoffs, whether it's the New York Giants, or when the New York Rangers return to the ice. Anyways, guys, I'm your host, Vin, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.